Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In my last video, I discussed how I got a 12-year-old child to believe that I was a I am innocent. I already have said that, okay? I don't want to hear anyone canceling me, okay? Because in this story, I am the victim. So anything I say, you can't cancel me for. If I target racial or ethnical minorities, you can't cancel me. If I go on a tangent about how we should round up every child who has ever said 6'7", throw them in a room and bring back Hiroshima 67 more times on that exact location, you can't say anything. And you especially can't question me if I spend this whole video talking about the disgusting and unholy things that I would do to Brad Pitt's probably 12-inch cock. You see, I am not gay. I'm just a victim. But don't worry, I'm not gonna let that power go to my head. I am not going to be targeting any minority groups at all, I promise. Because in this video, I will be targeting someone who has a majority. A majority of fucking blubber. Yes, the title is correct. I was somehow robbed by a fucking walrus. I am talking like a bowling ball, a hippopotamus, and a walrus had a group orgy, and the child that resulted from that is the man that robbed me. Listen, we will get to the walrus, bowling ball, hippopotamus that robbed me. But to understand this story, we first need to talk about Brad Pitt's beautiful face. How the fuck do those two correlate, you might ask? I swear to God, like Brad Pitt's cock, I will pull it out of my ass. Well, I don't know if I'd ever pull that first one out of my ass. So listen, if there was a gun to my head and someone asked me to name the two most important things in my life, and if I lied, I died, you would probably assume, like most people, I would answer my girlfriend and my family. But if I answered like that, my brain would be splattered on the wall. Because the truth is, the two most important things in my life, without question, are music and movies. If that same person held a gun to my head and told me I had to permanently erase one of two things from the world, and I looked up and to my right was my girlfriend and to my left was Damien Chazelle's 2016 masterpiece of a movie, La La Land, I would go up to my girlfriend, give her a kiss, say, "I love you, baby," and kill her. I say all of this for you to understand the context of how much movies mean to me so that we can start this story. So, I know I just said I would choose to murder my girlfriend rather than murder a movie, but the truth is, I love my girlfriend. She is a great woman and she tries to make me a better person. For example, if you've known me for a while, or if you've been following this channel for a while, you would know that I say some questionable, hurtful things. For example, one morning, me and my girlfriend were taking a nice little walk on the beach when I noticed that an older lady was walking in the other direction. So I said, "Good morning." But instead of saying it back, the old lady looked at me, frowned, and passed by us. And so, under my breath, I mumbled, "God, that old fucking hag should just die already." And my girlfriend will stop me and say, "Hey, we don't gotta say that. We don't gotta be mean. We can be nice and forget about it." Things constantly like that. She tries to make me a better person, and I appreciate that, and I'm really trying to do that for her. But let's now fast forward to the day of the walrus, bowling ball, hippopotamus. This day was supposed to be an unbelievably amazing and perfect day because me and my girlfriend were going to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, a movie she had never seen to that point, and a movie starring my two biggest crushes of all time. I mean, for God's sake, I don't care if you're straight, I don't care if you're homophobic. This image alone should instantly change you. I mean, my cock is doing a salsa dance right now. But I was excited for this day, and more importantly for this movie, and more importantly, I was wearing my favorite sweater. I know that sounds very fruity, but I take my favorite sweater very seriously. Every day that I feel like is going to be a fantastic day, I always wear one piece of clothing. That is my favorite sweater. Is it fruity? Yes, but I mean, everyone has that one piece of clothing that you put on, you look at yourself in the mirror, and you think, "Damn, I'd fuck myself right now." And for me, it's my favorite sweater. And so with my favorite sweater on, me and my girlfriend go to the theater, we sit down, and we start watching trailers. And I start to brace and prepare myself to not audibly moan and get a boner every time Leonardo DiCaprio or Brad Pitt walked onto the screen so that my girlfriend won't find out that I'm secretly a homosexual. And the good news about that was two things. One, I took my sweater off so I could hide any unwarranted erections. And two, there was an empty seat to my left. And I figured every time I couldn't take it anymore, I could move over one seat, bust a quick nut, and be okay for 10 more minutes of the movie, and my girlfriend would never find out. But right as the trailers ended and right before the movie was about to start, I I noticed a 400-pound man trying to mosey his way in the aisle. And when I saw that, the first thing I did was pray. Most of you know that I am not a religious man, but in times like this, the only person that can help you is Jesus Christ. Because there is nothing worse than watching a 3-hour movie while you're forced to squeeze into a space that a Chinese child mining slave wouldn't even dare to think about squeezing into. And of course, I am not a religious person, and so when I asked Jesus to answer my prayers, he said, "Go fuck yourself." And right when that 400-pound man got to the seat to my left, he said, "This is it," and plopped himself down, causing a small earthquake and a tsunami somewhere else in the world. And I look over at my girlfriend with the intention of saying, "Can you believe how lucky I am that I get to watch this whole movie with the wild manatee to my left?" But as I turned to look at her, she was already looking at me, and she was like, "No, we're not gonna be mean. We're gonna be nice today. We're gonna give people a chance. Come on, no being mean today." And so I took a breath and thought to myself, you know, I love movies so much. What if this guy loves movies just as much as me? Who knows? I mean, he's probably going through a lot just to get here and having to overcome social anxiety and how people might view him. I mean, he probably knows that people look at him and think, "Oh, look at that fucking manatee." But he loves movies so much that he is willing to overcome all of these social pressures and come to the theater and watch a great movie. And when I thought of it like that, I honestly had no problem becoming an Apple employee and squeezing my little Chinese ass into my mining hole. And so I brushed it off, took a breath, and the movie started. But I am not exaggerating. 5 seconds into the movie, I hear from my left, "What is happening?" Then the person to his left starts to describe every minute detail that is in this scene in an accent that I don't even think could possibly be real. The only thing that I could compare this accent to is if an Indian, an Italian, and an Asian jointly raised a child together in 3 completely different languages. This is what I was hearing.
"So it is black and white, and Leonardo DiCaprio is playing a cowboy, and the cowboy is sitting on a chair outside a ditcher. Why is that old-timey town?"
Keep in mind, we are 5 seconds into this movie. There is no reasoning to be questioning fucking anything. And my Chinese child ass is sitting there thinking 2 things. Number 1, where the fuck is this guy from? And number 2, if these people do not shut up, what is the quickest possible way I can kill both of them and get away with it? And after about 20 more seconds of the Indian, Chinese, Italian man going,
"Okay, now Brad Pitt is sitting down looking into the camera in the same desert old western town.
I can't take it anymore." And I go, and my girlfriend instantly hits my leg. And I look over at her like, "What the fuck do you want me to do, bitch? We both haven't heard a single piece of dialogue from this movie because of a zoo animal and a Chinese, Indian, Italian immigrant." And she goes, "Stop. We're not gonna do this today. We're gonna be calm today." And listen, she makes me a better person. I'm trying to cool down my rage for her. And so I think to myself, just try. Go zen. Don't cause a scene. These 2 zoo animals will eventually stop, and you'll be able to just hear the movie and look at Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio's gorgeous faces. I mean, if anything can make me calm down, it's this power couple. And so I tried to zen out and tune out these 2 people. And you know what? My girlfriend was right. I didn't cause a scene, and Jesus may not have answered my first prayer to not sit next to a manatee, but I think Jesus saw that I was really trying to do good. And like a sign from the God himself, the talking stopped. And I could feel myself become zen. I could feel the movie start to take over me. I could feel my cock start to get hard for Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. And I thought maybe my girlfriend was right. Maybe the key to life is to not get upset over all these little things.
"What is happening in the movie?"
Before I could even finish that thought, the manatee spoke. And right after that, I was welcomed to hear,
"So the main credits are going on. We see all of the main actors on the movie. It says Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt, Al Pacino."
And it took every ounce of strength I had, but I bit my tongue and I said nothing. And I bit my tongue for 5 minutes and said nothing. And nothing changed. The Italian Indian from Hong Kong would either be describing the scene or the manatee would be asking,
"What is happening?"
And at this point, I was so mad that I had already mapped out how to kill them and get away with it. I was going to grab popcorn, pour it on the Asian Italian Indian in a hope that the manatee would smell the food and out of mistake accidentally eat the immigrant and explode out of a too high of caloric intake. But right before I could go through with my plan, someone behind me went, "Shh." And I thought to myself, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus, for answering my prayers and sending me down an angel. I mean, this is the best case of every scenario. I don't have to say or do anything, which results in my girlfriend still loving me, and most importantly, the manatee population does not have to decrease because of my actions. But I was about to be very wrong, because unfortunately, that shush from the angel behind me didn't cause the manatee to stop talking. Quite the contrary. That shush from the person behind me let the manatee know to enact his mating ritual noise and say, "Shush you!" After talking for every single frame in this movie, the manatee had the audacity, rhyme on words, to basically say, "No, don't tell me to shut up. How about you shut the fuck up?" And most people in this scenario, after shushing someone and then that person shushing them back, probably would have moved on with their lives and not put too much thought into it. But as I already said, Jesus sent me down an angel, and that angel was not white. That angel was black. And I don't want to make any rationalizations on any minority groups, but if I know one thing about black people, it's that they do not like to be disrespected. And so after the manatee basically just told this person to shut up, the black angel that Jesus sent down for me said, "I know you did not just tell me to be quiet when your fat ass has been yelling this whole goddamn movie." And then the manatee got even more manatee and said, "I am blind. I cannot see the movie. I need someone to verbally explain the movie to me." And there was a moment after that where I thought, damn, my girlfriend is right once again. Here I was complaining about this person asking questions about the movie, and little did I know they were blind this entire time. That's why they needed the movie to be explained to them. But the other part of me thought, if you're blind, why the fuck would you show up to a movie you can't fucking see? And if you are blind, movies usually have an audio description service that only you can hear and will describe the entire scene for you while the movie is playing. Why the fuck did you not get one of those? But these were things that I couldn't possibly say out loud because my girlfriend would kill me. But luckily, Jesus already sent me down an angel. And my angel responded with, "I don't give a fuck if you're blind. Why would you come to a movie if you're blind? I guess you got two disabilities, blindness and autism." And that caused me to instantly burst out laughing, which also caused me to get a slap from my girlfriend. And that also started what would be a widespread riot throughout the entire theater. Because after that was said, someone got up and was like, "Oh my god, how are you gonna be talking like that to a blind person? What is wrong with you?" I'll leave it to you to guess what race that person is. But that caused another person to be like, "Bitch, last time I checked, being blind ain't got nothing to do with your mouth, so he shouldn't be talking that damn loud." And then pandemonium completely broke out throughout the theater. Half of the theater sided with the immigrant and the manatee, and the other half sided with the angel that came down from heaven. And it got to the point where it felt like everyone was literally yelling. And keep in mind, there is a movie being played right now. We are literally only 10 minutes into this movie being played, and there is an all-out civil war featuring animals, immigrants, and angels. These are the kind of stories that are written in the Bible. Manatee versus angel, white versus black, American versus Chinese, Italian, Indians. And as much as everyone was trying, no one was louder than the manatee. I'm not sure if having extra pounds on you makes your vocal cords stronger or wider, but throughout all of his arguments, all I could hear was,
"Misha no bomo! He is blind! How do you not understand? How can you say that about a blind person? Yes, Misha blind!"
Like, I already told you there was no way in hell I was gonna understand a word the immigrant was saying, but it got to the point where the manatee was literally manatizing his words. It was getting very Jabba the Hutt-esque, and I was starting to get scared because the manatee was starting to get very aggressive, and that aggression came to a point because finally all of this came to an end in an unbelievable way. The angel finally was just like, "Bitch, you better sit your fat ass down before I make that fat ass sit down." And I guess at this point the manatee had absolutely had enough because the manatee reached over his seat, picked up that black woman with both of his hands, opened his gullet, and in one gulp completely swallowed the angel whole, and then started picking up people left and right like they were popcorn kernels that he was just throwing into his gullet. Okay, that last part did not happen. The theater employees actually ended up coming into the theater, paused the movie, and ended up being like, "Hey, so there is a fucking movie being played right now in my theater. We cannot have a biblical animal immigrant civil war more in my movie theater. The manatee, you are kicked out. The immigrant, you are kicked out. And unfortunately, he also kicked out the angel. And the manatee was not very happy about this. I mean, he was screaming and he was like,
Miso not going!
and I did not want to invade his territory, and I also wanted to make my girlfriend proud by not getting involved or saying anything mean while the theater employees were trying to kick him out, and so I suggested that we both just get up and go to the bathroom. And in doing that, I really felt like a good person. I controlled my natural urges to instantly cuss out and possibly kill this animal, and in doing so, God had rewarded me by sending me down an angel, and I was not going to let him down anymore. I felt like this could be a turning point in my life. I was going to change my habits, and this would be a new chapter of my life. A chapter defined by virtues and righteousness in the eyes of my girlfriend and God. But when I got back to my seat after going to the bathroom, I looked down for my sweater and it was not there. I looked to the seat the manatee was staying in, it was not there. I looked at the immigrant seat, it was not there. Everyone else was still in the theater at that moment and would continue to be in the theater to watch the remaining of the movie, which really only means one thing. As the fucking manatee was being relocated to a new habitat, he took my favorite sweater. The sweater that I would put on every day when I knew it was gonna be a good day. The sweater that I would put on, look at myself in the mirror and say, damn, I'd like to fuck that. And you know what? Maybe I am a changed man, because in that moment, I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel hate. In fact, somehow, some way, I even started to smile and laugh. Losing my favorite sweater on any other day would have enthralled me with rage and filled me to say ungodlike things, but not today. Because in that moment, all I could think about was this. A size large sweater on a fucking manatee. And I think that's the moral of the story. If you ever want to change your view on life, sometimes you just gotta picture your favorite sweater on a fucking manatee. Anyways, check out my new channel if you haven't. I pour my heart and soul into that channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.